President Trump has had a rocky relationship with the truth in the first months of his presidency. Let's discuss now. CNN political commentators Kayleigh McEnany, Paris Denard, and Simone Sanders, and CNN political contributor Hillary Rosen. Hello, everyone. Let's see. Hillary, hey. You first. I want to play a clip of President Trump on Fox Business this morning. He continues to double down on Susan Rice, saying he was wiretapped. Listen.
When you look at Susan Rice and what's going on, and so many people are coming up to me and apologizing now. They say, you know, you were right when you said that. Perhaps I didn't know how right I was because nobody knew the extent of it.
Was that what you were referring to, the Susan Rice?
Well, sure. We're talking about surveillance. It was wiretapped, in quotes.
She said she didn't do it for political reasons. Susan Rice told Andrew Mitchell.
Does anybody really believe that? Nobody believes that. Even the people that try to protect her in the news media. It's such a big story. And I'm sure it will continue forward. But what they did is horrible.
I didn't have a better phrase than doubling down, because it's more than that. But members of both parties say there is no evidence, people who have seen the papers, that Susan Rice was spying on the Trump campaign or that she did nothing unusual or illegal. But it doesn't stop the president from perpetrating a false story, perpetuating a false story. And still, again, it has nothing to do with his original tweets.
Well, and, you know, unfortunately, in this instance, my old friend Maria Bartiromo didn't actually know the facts here, because if she did, she would have been able to push back on him that the original story wasn't about Susan Rice, that it wasn't wiretaps that Susan Rice had called for or the like. So, but what we do know is that over the last couple of days, a bipartisan panel in the House has said that there actually was no evidence that either Susan Rice did anything unusual as National Security Advisor, and that there is still no evidence that the Obama administration wiretapped President Trump or his associates in Trump Tower. So, you know, the fact that he is so mesmerized by his own crap is just, and his own bull is just astounding. And you know, it's exhausting, I think, for journalists who interview him to constantly harp back to him and say, actually, no, that's not true. No, that's not true. You literally would spend your entire interview contradicting him with facts.
But
Go ahead.
The fact is, we don't know what is true with regard to this claim. None of us have seen those documents.
In this case, we do.
No, we don't, because if you read the whole CNN story, a few lines down in that same story, they said other congressional individuals who have seen these documents say that there are real questions raised. So some people say there are questions raised. There are another group that say there weren't questions raised. None of us have seen the documents. So to speak with authority and act as if his claims of unmasking or wrongful unmasking are untruthful, you're speaking on absolutely no firsthand knowledge and no firsthand basis.
Actually, that's not true, Kayleigh.
You've seen the documents. You have firsthand knowledge. Wow, that is news.
I think we
breaking
can, look,
news,
Kayleigh, we can clear this up real quick. The White House should declassify the documents so the American people and us sitting right here on this program can know for a fact that nothing is amiss or nothing is afoot or wrong. And I think Trey Gowdy, who was no liberal snowflake, by the way, has also, when he first took over Afternoons, he noted that Susan Rice did nothing wrong. I think the bigger story here is, one, Donald Trump just has a disregard, and this administration has a disregard for the facts and the truth. And what does this say about us as Americans when our commander-in-chief and his entire administration is so hell-bent on twisting things to meet the president's points as opposed to the real truth? Like, we are in deep doo-doo here, okay?
Well, the story has gone from President Obama wiretapping him to whether Susan Rice had the right to mask and unmask. And so far, there has been no evidence of any of it. None of it has been proven true. Mostly it has been proven false. So one wonders why the president, with the disposal of every single intelligence agency and asset at his fingertips, would continue to go on with this with no proof. And if he wanted to show the proof, he could do it. So obviously there is none, because he doesn't do it, Paris.
No, I think we have to be careful in our dialogue to the American people about what's going on, and using large terms and phrases like the entire administration and this president and things of that nature, talking about them using or saying things that are false. I mean, that's just not true. What we do know is that the president believes that what Secretary or Ambassador Rice did was not appropriate. Now, whether or not it was legal,
To say that's
or even
illegal is not the same thing, though. Like,
that's
he's
not-
literally saying she did
what I'm
something
saying,
criminal.
and what I'm
So
saying
the
is,
president needs
but
to
there's
take
also
care of the
no
language
proof
he's
that it's
using. Don't tell us
inappropriate
to be a little more careful.
To say that it's inappropriate as well is also not true, Paris.
the president believes that if
But the
Ambassador
president is
Rice-
believing something that's not true.
Right, and you have to
if
go.
the president believes that
If
Ambassador
the president
Rice,
believes that frogs can fly and they can't, it doesn't make it so.
That's exactly right, Paris. And you know that the president.
Well, I didn't get a chance to say anything,
The
so I don't know
president
what is
could
exactly
actually
right.
show the truth at any moment. But I don't think you even have to go to national security issues, which tend to be a little more opaque than other issues, to just look at sort of this constant stream of falsehoods that come out of his mouth, whether it's about, Exim Bank or jobs being created, or what he said today about the Kansas special election and how handily that, the Republican beat the Democrat when the margin was extremely narrow.
Listen,
I mean,
Hillary,
there's
hold on. Hillary, hold on.
stream
Hillary,
from this president.
there's a constant stream of you talking and not letting other people speak. Now, at the end of the day, a win is a win. And like Ricky Bobby said in the famous movie, he said,
but he doesn't say that.
Ricky Bobby said, either you're first or you're last. You got to win. Winning is important.
To Ricky Bobby now.
The end of the day,
Ricky Bobby, because you have to
Okay,
win.
hold on,
And a win
Hillary,
is a
Hillary,
win.
hold on.
And so for the president to tout this win when everybody was against it is totally appropriate,
all
and
right.
it's true.
Paris, I want to get your
You're
response to
first
this, because
or you're last.
let's put the
You're
tweet up.
first or you're
Let's put
last.
the tweet up.
Either he won
what we're
or
talking
he
about.
lost.
We're talking
He
about
won
Estes.
or he lost.
Can you guys let me get it in here so we can discuss it, please? Okay, so this is a special election. He said, Kansas special election, that was narrowly won by Republicans. He said, great win in Kansas last night for Ron Estes, easily winning the congressional race against Dems, who spent heavily and predicted victory. Here's the truth about it, okay? There were several lies in that tweet. Estes won his spot by less than 7%. In 2016, Republicans won that slot by 31%. That was not an easy win. Donald Trump won the district by 27%. That's actually a massive drop in Republican support. The National Democratic organizers basically said they sat this one out. They spent almost nothing knowing how red the district was. Democrats never expected to win the seat. They definitely did not predict victory. Yes, a win is a win, but his tweet, what he said, Paris, is not true. So why even say it?
Because when you are the president of the United States, you're also the head of the party. And what the president was doing was being a cheerleader for the GOP, waving the banner, encouraging other special elections that are going on across the country, in South Carolina, in Georgia, and things of that nature, making sure people know that.
So you say a lie to get people behind you?
I don't think it was a lie.
That's unfair to call it a lie.
It was a lie.
Go ahead.
He talks a lot about the value for him, and he talks about this for years, a value of hyperbole. But look, here's the key takeaway.
Quickly,
from
Hillary,
this,
I have to get to the break.
Which is that Republicans across the country looking at that drop from 27% margin down to a 7% margin have to look at that and say the president is not going to carry my district the same way I fear he would. And that's a problem for the president.
Victory is victory.
We'll
Either you win or you lose.
All right, and we're back. We don't have much time. My panel is back. Okay, so everyone, in the same Fox interview that President gave a bizarre firsthand account of when he decided to pull the trigger on Syria while eating a delicious piece of chocolate cake with the Chinese president in Mar-a-Lago. Look.
We had finished dinner. We're now having dessert. And we had the most beautiful piece of chocolate cake that you've ever seen. And President Xi was enjoying it. And I was given the message from the generals that the ships are locked and loaded. What do you do? And we made a determination to do it. So the missiles were on the way. And I said, Mr. President, let me explain something to you. This is during dessert. We've just fired 59 missiles, all of which hit, by the way, unbelievable, from hundreds of miles away. So what happens is, I said, we've just launched 59 missiles heading to Iraq.
Well, you headed to Syria?
Yes, heading toward Syria. And I want you to know that.
So, Kaylee, he got the country wrong, but no mistaking, that was an amazing piece of chocolate cake.
And I loved it. I loved it because you just have this image, the most powerful man in the world with the second most powerful man finally exhibiting strength on the world stage over a piece of chocolate cake. Love it.
All right. Simone, I'll let you get the last,
I thought
last 10 seconds.
I thought it was a commercial for the lovely chocolate cake at his lovely private establishment, and how, again, we have Donald Trump's businesses all mixed up in our national security.
All right.
The problem is that we missed the mark. We didn't focus on the fact that the president had a brilliant strategy that was effective. That
the president
worked.
thought he was hitting Iraq.
No, he thought he
it.
was
We
hitting
gotta
Syria,
go.
and he hit Syria's targets, and he did an effective
That
job.
cake
Good
must have been
night.
good. Good
that
night.
cake was real good. Thought he was hitting
And
The
Iraq.
mission was
Thank you.
good. The mission was
Bye.
effective.
Good night.